spooky month. Oh boy, it's that time again to sit down and watch something with a bit of spook energy to it. And I had the perfect idea after being inspired to think of a family-friendly horror film. Sure, we got FNAF, but I have a whole video detailing that. What about Nightmare Before Christmas? Well, to me that serves more of a gothic Christmas film more than anything. But we're close. There is something I remember. Somebody really needs to help me with these bullet holes. Wait, where did everyone go?
You look afraid. Don't be afraid.
What the hell do you mean by that?
This is a dream. The last dream you may ever have. For nightmares are coming.
Oh, by the way, where did I wake up again?
You're just in time for supper, dear.
Oh, fuck. Coraline was the first major film of Laika Studios, released all the way back in 2009. A young Morton dude saw plenty of advertisements for it, enough so that when it came onto TV, I decided to watch it and I adored it back then. Now, a good movie needs to hook the audience, get them invested in the stakes, and Coraline does this brilliantly. It also adds that spice called mystery. Pair this with a tomboy lass with a fiery attitude, but also being naive and desiring more, and you get a solid story with a solid consequence. As well as a unique cast of secondary characters that all have distinct appearances and play their roles in the story, and the mystery itself can be developed from them. Back to Laika Studios, and they pretty much do the Aardman thing of making solely stop motion films. I know Flushed Away exists. Shut up. Stop motion like 2D animation is a timeless format done correctly and can offer some extremely stunning visuals. As well as clay animation just being charming as is. 3D animation isn't bad, but unless you're Pixar or DreamWorks you often find quite generic looking films. Looking at you, Illumination. Now a little off topic, we've talked about family horror before. The FNAF movie is kinda in that role, but being a 15 also means it really shouldn't be. FNAF as of late does market itself as such, though it's fair to say that FNAF can struggle to be scary as a result, especially compared to its older days. And looking at this list of family horror, yeah, this has some films I've seen, but they usually range from spin-offs or Disney specials. Though I'd say a small portion are able to convey a tense horror feeling while being suitable for families. Yes, it's a niche genre, but this brings us to Coraline. The film starts with an amazing sequence where a new doll is made that resembles the protagonist, while also remaining speechless, adding to the mystery of what's going on.
John! Piss off!
The protagonist Coraline appears, standing out from these grey landscapes with her dark blue hair and yellow rain jacket. After using the stick for, well, something. What do I look like, a therapist?
I miss my wife.
Coraline ends up fleeing from some animal only for it to turn out to be this cat. Oh, and the Ghost Rider shows up.
Get away from me!
Turns out it's some kid with the cruelest name possible.
I'm Wybie. Wybie Lovat.
Wybie?
Short for Wyborn.
Christ, this kid was hate-fucked into existence to earn that name. Anyway, he adds some more mystery to the plot regarding the place that Coraline's family has moved into, which is owned by his grandma, and that kids are also not allowed.
Why were you born?
I'd wear gloves next time.
Why?
'Cause that dowsing rod of yours, it's poison oak.
Karma's a bitch. Later we get to meet the happy family. This here is perfection, the portrait of modern man. Now films like these like to present the parents as straight up bad or antagonistic throughout the film, but Coraline instead provides some background information. Coraline's mother got hurt in an accident involving a truck, which is why she's always wearing a neck brace, and has always got a bad mood going for her. That shit probably hurts a lot. Meanwhile, the dad is probably overworked trying to sort the whole move and to keep on top of his job, which probably explains his appearance. The mother is more brash towards Coraline in a realistic way, as is the father, though he shows a little more down to earth and is a bit more patient, though also shows some strain with Coraline's annoying tendencies. In the end, it's the father who actually persuades Coraline into the next scene. Whoever has OCD would just burn this carpet. Not gonna lie, if I saw this in my bathroom, I'd probably just set it on fire. This small sequence of events comes to an end when Coraline discovers this small door. The mother, somehow guessing the right key first try, opens it to a disappointed Coraline. After a day of disappointment, Coraline sleeps only to be awoken by a mouse. Following the mouse, it leads her back to the small door, where there is now a beautiful cosmic tunnel. The wind detailing in her hair as it gets blown around just adds to the wonder vibe of this discovery.
You're just in time for supper, dear.
I'm fucking bailing, that alone is nightmarish. So, this is...
I'm your other mother, silly.
Yeah, the moment we met her, it's clear she's uncannily nice. Is that even a word? And fucking terrifying with that smile. Oh, and there's another... other version? Like, you know, of a mother, but of a father, of a YB, yeah, you get the fucking idea. Pretty much take what the entire intro was, you know, when we met Coraline and all the house stuff, but make it a miracle in this other version. That is basically what this entire scene boils down to. No tired parents, food that Gordon Ramsay would praise, and a bright, colourful environment, and this amazing looking cake. That hand movement she does is both important and oddly threatening.
What's shaking, baby?
I don't trust that octopus. So after bed, Coraline awakes back in the real world, retelling her wonderful tale, though her parents write it off as a dream. Her mother then decides to send Coraline off to visit the neighbours downstairs, but there's a pile of mail at the door. Turns out it belongs to this guy who served in Chernobyl. I'm not making that up, look up what this badge is about. The mail in question is cheese samples. Who mails cheese? That's gotta be illegal for health reasons at least. I love how mobile Babinski is though, constantly moving in scenes to express his extremely strange personality and appearance compared to the more tame movements of Coraline.
Hey! Caroline! Подожди! Wait!
No!
Despite coming off as somewhat insane due to rambling with the mice, Babinski shares this message.
They are saying, do not go through little door.
After that foreshadowing, Coraline finally meets with the neighbours downstairs. Two stage actresses who are genuinely entertaining to listen to. Anyway, they also perform a fortune telling, revealing a very familiar hand from the intro. After leaving, YB shows up and adds even more background to the place. With his grandma's sister disappearing at the place and the cat acting aggressively towards the doll, there's something more to this mystery. It also doesn't help that every character outside the family has been foreshadowing. Regardless, Coraline baits the mice and returns to the other world willingly. The garden scene coming up is the most beautiful display in the film, and it's so fucking well made. The sequence is so vibrant, colourful and well animated, along with a joyous feeling. This is a paradise to Coraline.
Mother said you'd like it. Boy, she knows you like the back of her hand.
More treats are to come as Babinski has a mouse act to show, but we must meet the other YB first.
I thought you'd like him more if he spoke a little less, so I fixed him.
Yeah, that sounds totally ethical. This YB doesn't speak as a result, relying on the facial expressions and movements to convey himself. The mouse circus is a pretty trippy sequence and it's also somewhat hypnotic. Coraline reawakes in her real room and is determined to revisit the other world, but the door is suddenly locked. After a brief visit to the clothes shop and begging for orange gloves, the mother reveals she locked the door after finding rat feces. On the journey back, she tries to cheer up Coraline, but she's not taking it. The mother's tone has since changed lately, clearly worried about Coraline. Despite trying, Coraline is unimpressed, seemingly gunning for the spoilt life of the other mother. Once she gets the key, Coraline goes to live her fantasies, but is followed by the black cat, displaying some aggression regarding the other world, just like with the doll. So what exactly is the deal with this black cat?
No.
Holy shit, it talks! So the most direct info regarding the other mother is explained, where the cat reveals that she is not what she seems, if that wasn't fucking obvious. Though Coraline in her delusion doesn't believe the cat. After he disappears, Coraline attends a concert with the other stage actresses in another creative set piece. It has 2D backgrounds that interact with the characters and an interesting choice of visuals. Yes, I know it's like 3D panels, but I think you get what I mean.
Oh my god.
Can I even show this on YouTube? I mean, if you're watching this, I can apparently. We also get to see their young counterparts in a creative way, literally unzipping their skin off. That sounds morbid, but it's animation being creative, so I see no problems here. Even Coraline gets involved. Wait, did they just kidnap a child? Anyway, after the show ends, Coraline is ecstatic and happy, but same cannot be said for her friend. Yeah, that isn't concerning in the slightest, even came with a wonderful jingle. With Coraline obviously wanting to stay, the movie takes a dark turn. At this point, there are no more smiles, no more wonders, just the consequences. In order to stay, Coraline must accept the buttons, and obviously she rejects them.
Mom! Dad! Oh, God.
This is when the other characters start acting eerie, especially the other mother. Everything is going eerily dark, especially the other father, who has gone from a colourful, joyous character to slowly decaying. Coraline runs for her life into a nearby forest identical to earlier when she was confronted by the cat. He tries to explain what the other mother could be after, but despite their history, he himself isn't entirely sure. Again, gotta keep up that mystery. The cat also kinda breaks through to Coraline after killing a circus mouse in front of her, revealing this horrible thing. Let's quickly address this. It's a perfect way of showing that even this cute creation of the other world are in fact sinister entities, just like nearly everything else in the other world. Anytime the veil is broken, entities often contort into terrifying figures, as we'll see later. Yeah, that isn't gross in any way.
You aren't my mother. Apologize at once, Coraline. No!
Yeah, obviously pissing off what is essentially God of this world doesn't go well for Coraline, and she finds herself trapped in the darkest room we've seen so far. The victims of the other mother are found here, being unsettling ghosts that often use emotionless expressions. Some of these are legit dark, especially given that they are basically trapped from moving on, being stuck in this fantasy hell. So, other YB appears, having managed to free Coraline, though he gets absolutely pummeled. YB gets so much dirt, man, regardless of which one we're talking about. After helping him undo whatever that is, YB leads Coraline out the small door, though Thanos himself isn't letting him have a break.
You should have gone for the head.
As Coraline escapes down this tunnel, now a corrupted hole of decay, I notice that there are various toys and clothing, probably related to the ghost kids we saw earlier. Despite making it home, Coraline is all but alone, though someone comes to the door. YB original, everybody. So he finally reveals the deal with the doll, having stolen it because it looked like Coraline. The grandma is pretty angry and has sent him over to retrieve it. Perhaps she knew how dangerous it was, and why she never let kids into the apartments before. YB understandably starts getting weirded out by Coraline's ramblings and decides to bail. With no signs of her parents, Coraline ends up going to her actress neighbours, still being creepy as ever. Turns out they weren't about to murder us as they hand Coraline this green object. In typical fashion, they argue about its purpose.
Wake up. Wake up.
The cat returns, revealing where her parents are. Turns out the doll is to blame, turning into a creepy two-sided mess that Harvey Dent would be impressed by. With no other options, Coraline gears up to confront the other mother. The cat gives some warnings, but also some tips to help confront the other mother. Obviously, the other mother baits Coraline out, and we see that the other father is still spilling the beans unintentionally. We get a recreation of the first time Coraline entered this world, though now with the other mother's true form. Coraline then offers a game to the other mother, exposing a weakness foretold by the cat. Coraline must find her parents and the ghost children's eyes before the moon gets covered, or she'll be trapped there forever. She first visits the garden, which has become more corrupt and hostile since she was last there. Curiously, the hostile wildlife are targeting the strange green object. Turns out it's used for finding lost things, as Coraline finds the first eye. Unfortunately, it's a Dark Souls boss. However, the other father, having finally broken free from those hands, gives her the eye before drowning in the pond. Next up, the stage. If these dogs weren't bad enough, they now have wings. After dealing with that, Coraline then moves on to the Babinski section. That is the equivalent of skinning someone. That shit is messed up. Babinski toys with Coraline, speaking in a distorted voice and moving very creepily around the area. He also doesn't fuck around, completely messing her up as his mice escape with the missing eye. Fortunately, the cat pulls an ex machina, saving her from being taken. As the game closes up, the world itself starts to fall apart. Even the wallpaper is stripping away as the world is dying. Oh god, I think that's her actual form. She looks like shattered glass on top of a skeleton. After a quick warning from the ghost children, Coraline locates her parents while baiting the other mother to open the door. Believing she's won, the other mother then gets assaulted by a thrown black cat as Coraline makes a break for the door. The cat rips her goddamn eyes out, only pissing her off further. The entire room becomes a spider web and this demonic cackling bitch is going nuts. Jesus, let's get that in instant action replay.
Run.
Coraline escapes and her parents are back home, extremely thrilled about the plant catalogue. Yeah, they don't have any memory of what just happened. Still, the family is now happy about the recent success. I told you that octopus was a menace. The cat returns later that night, and the two now hope to release the spirits within the eyes. God, that is a gorgeous transition. Now angels, having moved on to the afterlife, they now also have fully expressive faces, and also appear to be bronze. However, the threat isn't over. As long as the key remains, so does the threat of the other world. Attempting to sink the key into the well from the beginning, Coraline is attacked by the hand she cut off earlier. YB then shows up, soloing the hand for like 5 seconds. After a scuffle, YB basically ends the horror with a rock. Both of them cast the remains and the key into the well, ending the nightmare. As the suspiciously shaped clouds free the moon, we see a colourful party, with everyone enjoying the gardening. We even get to see YB's grandma. Yet, as the film moves away, we get one last shot of the house, with the cat disappearing. When it wants to be cozy, the colours are a vibrant masterpiece bordering fantasy. The real world having a grey colour palette certainly helps to compare the two worlds. Along with this, when stuff gets scary, the film twists the vibrance against the audience, now coming off as a horror ride-like attraction. This is before it goes dimly lit and the colour slowly fades away, even to the point the world breaks apart into a white void. The voice actors do an amazing job with the characters, each giving them a standout personality. The animation is a timeless joy, holding up over a decade later. It also helps to show off how creepy characters move in the other world, or just be Babinski and constantly move around. And some bonus points for making the parents close to realistic. They're tired, overworked and stressed, but also are willing to do what's best for their kid. Speaking of Coraline, she's a great protagonist. She's quirky, tomboyish, but also has a naive energy given that she's only 11 and going through moving hell. Moving house is not easy, especially when the film points out she had to leave her friends behind. Seriously, this should be a standard for getting a family horror right. It's tense and scary, but not reliant on gore fests, going into the more uncanny and disturbing route. The other mother is objectively the most terrifying, and I give this abomination the silver medal. Laika's first major movie is a must-watch. I legit have nothing negative to say. It's a perfect film, and I reckon it's time to call the video here. Thank you all for watching and happy Halloween. Hopefully this video is out on time, but knowing my schedule, who knows. If you enjoyed this video, then check out my playlist that should be on screen. Supporting the channel is very straightforward, just hit subscribe and maybe even share the video around. Anyway, I'll leave you to it.